how do we support that customization for unique policy structures? So we've got riders, we got value adds, optional coverage. How is the FINEOS AdminSuite, especially policy member, built to really align with a Met who wants to customize their policy versus someone else like a Guardian who may look at it differently?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things, right? So when we think about, building for this market, like you can't, you can't go into the group insurance market naive to the complexities, right? And think I'm going to take any insurance platform, whether it's P&C or pension software or any kind of really good tech, right? And say I'm just going to use it for group insurance. I'm sure it'll be fine. It can handle all the depth and breadth of complexities, etc. As you just articulated a few of those right there. So when we think about handling a Mets business versus a New York Life GBS business or Guardian or Aflac, or you kind of name the carrier that kind of spans the various the administrative spectrum. I keep putting my hands on here because I think about you have self-administration over here, you have full administration over here, and like what do those things mean, right? So one is, we're not really thinking about member data a ton. We're thinking about the fact that we're looking at a case, we're understanding as best we can how to service that case, and then our customer touch points are sometimes less, right? So, and then you have full administration, which is we're the book of record, we are the administrative, we're the source of truth for that employer, right? So it's understanding everything in between, those two polars, because it really is around everything in between these days. There's a hybrid administration, which I think is more common. So anyway, so back to your point, you go into it being specific and saying, listen, we're going to own the group insurance space, we're going to own the group term life, disability, sub-health space, and we're going to purposely build for that, knowing that that's the space that requires that kind of focus and then that kind of depth to then do that in production. And so coming back out to your question around how do you handle those types of markets and those types of complexities from a Met versus New York Life. It's when you build for production. We've been in production since I think 2017. You have to be able to handle the depth and breadth of what those carriers are going to do. So there's that part, right? So we're in production. Over $4 billion kind of flows through the platform today. So you have to be able to handle that type of functionality. And then on top of that, you need to allow your client to then differentiate. So we provide a various spots to allow the carrier to configure for their business, for how they want to market, for how they want to service, for how they want to be more creative from their offerings, whether it be within their products or value adds.